Hey guys, Professor Bill of Comic Book University and Abbott, issue number 5 of 5. We're done. We're done, guys. Oh, wow, this is good. This is good. You know, I always say that the final issue of a series is what's going to determine the ultimate grade for the book, or the end of an arc. But in this case, it's a 5-issue limited series. So this one is the most important of those books. And go figure, it's the best of the issues. If you liked issue number 1, it's nothing compared to this issue. All right? Seriously, all the issues have been good. Some of them have been better than good. This one is great. This is fantastic. Saladin Ahmed did such an amazing job writing this. He didn't know. This story wasn't written. This story was crafted. Okay? This is great. This story was so good that it's one of those things where you figure there's got to be a second volume of this. But this volume was so good that I'm afraid of Saladin trying to do a second volume, because what if it's not as good as this one? You know that feeling? You know that feeling where you really want to see something else, but you're afraid it's not going to live up to the expectations of the first? That's how I feel about this one, because this one was so good. It's like, how is he going to match this? How's that going to happen? Sami Cavella on art, Jason Wordy on colors. Everybody did a fantastic job on this comic book, man. This was great. This is great. It says something about these indie comic books, and it's hard to call, Boom Studio an indie comic book, but when push comes to shove, if you're not Marvel or DC, you're kind of an indie comic book, So I feel bad. I do, but facts is facts, man. Just let it go. But, oh man, it's a funny thing, because these indie books, these non-Big Two books, have to try so much harder, you know what I'm saying, than the other stories that are. They have to try so much harder, because they're not going to get. They need that word of mouth, And then you've got the inspirers like me, like other YouTube guys, like the comic book web pages. I'll have one pretty soon. You've got all these other people, trying to promote these other books, on our own dime. And it's like, I honestly, as far as the comic book genre is concerned, I feel like, yes, this is a big important thing to do. All right. It's hard to put this into words, because I've never really thought about it this way, but I feel like I have an important job in trying to get comic books like this out to everybody else. You know what I'm saying? I know there are people who aren't even going to bother clicking on this, because it's like, yeah, what's Abbott? I don't know what Abbott is. You know what I'm saying? And they're not going to be able to see that it's Saladin Ahmed on it. You know what I'm saying? Who did the amazing Black Bolt series and is currently doing the Exiles, which it took me a while to really get what he was doing. And the art with that is the exact same thing. Javier's art on that. It took me a while to understand what he was doing, but it's pretty good right now, you know what I'm saying? But they already have the marketing of that big red label with the white word Marvel over top, right? Boom. Excuse me. They can make their exclamation point as big as they want, but it's not going to have the impact. So, if you're clicking on this video, if you're checking this out, you owe it to yourself. All right. If you can go and find this in your local library, go out and read this story. And if you like it, consider a purchase. You know what I'm saying? Seriously, or hey, worst case scenario, go to your comic book store. Oh, imagine that. Or, go and find it on online. You know what I'm saying? Comixology has this. That's where I got these images from particularly. But the idea is, this is a good book. All right. This is a good book. I don't know how else to really express that, except that I genuinely think that if you read this, if you put aside whatever expectations you have, high or low, for your bar for a comic book, just read the comic book on its own, because it crosses so many different subgenres that it's crazy. This is kind of sci-fi when you look at it from this issue's point of view, from the main bad guy's point of view. This is technically sci-fi, even though this is more of a noir comic book, even though there's more of a, not quite historical, but this is back during the civil rights movement times. You know what I'm saying? This is high fantasy, although it's in Detroit. You know what I'm saying? There's so much cross genre in this, cross subgenre in this, that it's nuts. and it blends so well in this perfectly crafted story. I love this. I absolutely love this. I'm very glad that I know, because if you saw my first video, my first issue number 1 video, I looked at it and I looked away, but then I just happened to see Saladin Ahmed's name on it, so I looked back again. I'm like, all right, well, I really like Blackballed, so let me check this out. And I'm so glad I did. It's like that. It's like that. Guys, I'm going to let it go at that. Professor Bell, Comic Book University. Class dismissed.